So what do you think, Big Cat? How long do you think it is?
Till the rapture happens.
Yeah. How long is the generation?
Well, I don't know. I wrote down 4 different options.
Okay. Would you
I
write?
mean, if you want to start at the first, the earliest one, which this would already be passed, so this can't be this can't be what it is. But numbers 32. I think it gives us verse 11. I actually don't know if this one says generation in it.
Numbers 32?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. 32. 13, it says, and the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years until all the generation had. So, 40 years, I guess you could say, for that generation. I mean, maybe you could say, because it starts with them in verse 11 from 20 years old and upward. So I don't know if you can add 20 to that and say 40 or 60. I don't know.
Well, I think the 40 years thing, because a complementary verse to that is Matthew 1:17, which says, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David until the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations, and from the carrying away into Babylon into Christ are 14 generations. And so it's 14 times 3. And if you look at the time, like from the first example all the way to Christ, and then divide that by 14 times 3, it's like 40 something years. So same thing. So yeah, it gives so yeah, both of those would complement each other. So definitely 40 years ish. Sometimes in Scripture is a generation. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So maybe we're in the millennial reign right now. We just didn't know it.
Yes.
Millennial. 1948 plus 40 ish.
2000.
Which is, by the way, is why you saw why that one joker back in the 80s said 88 reasons why.
Yeah.
Which that's still second Advent. The guy probably didn't understand the rapture and Advent. I don't know, but yeah, you get it. Yeah, it makes sense why he did that. So yeah, the millennials were right.
Yeah.
40 years. That's right. All right. So that one's out. Right. I mean, that 1988, that meant the rapture had to have been, should have been 1981 ish cutoff point, maybe before. So that's, we would say, and this is a perfect example of why when people are just so dogmatic and they're like, because we'll have this too. And you'll have this in comments on on YouTube, but you also, if you talk to people, they know like one verse. It's why we look at everything. Because you can take one verse and hang your hat on that and be like, oh, Dylan, come on, it's 40 years. Look at this right here. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not denying that. Yeah, but there's other verses too. So there's more than one example. So yeah, so we don't believe that the generation of Matthew 24 obviously is 40 years. So what's another one you wrote down?
The next one, Psalms 90 verse 10.
Yeah,
and this is, I guess, the age of a person here, because it doesn't actually use the word generation.
Right.
But it says the days of our years. This is Psalms 90:10. I don't know if I said that. The days of our years are 3 score, so 20, 40, 60, and 10, so that'd be 70. And if by reason of strength, they be 4 score years, so 20, 40, 60, 80. So 70 or 80 here. I think you can put as maybe a generation.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say this is the most popular one.
Yeah.
Everybody
I actually saw this in the comments a lot. Well, some guy said 87 years exactly. I don't know where you got that, but
yeah, I think I even commented that. I think I said, how do you figure 80? Like, why so specific of 87?
Maybe maybe he did believe till all these things be fulfilled is tribulation. So he was adding 7 years to 80.
Maybe so. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It was weird, but yeah, I mean, so this one's very popular, and even like guys that we would respect will oftentimes quote this in reference to that. So it's a pretty good one. So I think if I'm thinking right though, because this has been popular for the last few years, people talking about this.
Yeah,
we're almost out of time on this one.
This is actually 70 is already passed
for sure. I think 80 is almost passed.
80, if you subtract the tribulation, is already passed.
Right, that's the problem. Yeah, because this is
Yeah.
again second Advent stuff.
Yeah.
So 20,
Because
yeah,
it
so
would be
8
2028 if you did
2028.
80.
Yeah, 2021. Which the reason why that was so popular is because 2020 was COVID.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, we got 2021 will be the cutoff. Like COVID's happening, the whole world's
Yep.
being set up. That actually probably seemed like the most perfect setup if you're a Bible believer.
Yeah.
Besides, I'd say that was the second most likely scenario that on paper, probably second to people that were living during World War II.
Yeah.
Um,
Greg Axe actually wrote in one of his books about 2020 saying that he believed that was a dry run of the tribulation, like to see what they could get away with and all that stuff.
Sure.
Like, yeah, that I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. Yeah, it was a trial run. See what and look, I mean, gosh, it showed you that people didn't even need facts. They just were told what to do, and
they'll just do whatever they're told.
Do whatever they're told. It's wild. Yeah, so that one is a good one, but you know what my problem with that one, Big Kai, is obviously, and I would say this even if it wasn't passed. My problem with that one has always been that it doesn't use the word generation.
Right. Yeah.
And so I always thought like, okay, yeah, it's given a full life expectancy, and that's the same life expectancy we have now. We would say I think the average age is like 70 something, and so, or the average age of death is 70 something. But I guess the reason I don't like it is obviously you can still, that's, still comparing scripture with scripture, but we know that the Bible is wired in such a way where words, you compare the words with the words, and that's how God reveals the deep things. And so I was always like, man, it's not an actual direct cross-reference for Matthew 24. You know what I mean? Like it is contextually, because it's talking about the same subject matter, but it's not a great cross-reference because it's not using the same word. So I've always been like, not a fan.
Yeah.
But again, it's easy for me to say that now. In 2020, I probably was like, oh my gosh, the rapture is about to happen. But I will say it has always been interesting to me that the end of that says, and we fly away. That I've always thought that's interesting. It's the only time that phrase is mentioned in scripture. Yeah. And obviously he's talking about death there. He's talking about the end of life. And he says, we fly away. But I mean, literally the rapture is we'll be caught up together with him in the clouds. So I'm always like, that's kind of interesting. So, but yeah, it doesn't use the word generation. So, and then what's the third one you laid out there, Big Cow?
The third one is Genesis 15 and verse 13 through 16. And this is when somebody commented on our video the other day and they said, are you the nation of Israel? Okay, that has nothing to do with this. It's talking about people being serving in a land that's not theirs for 400 years. And in the fourth generation, they'll be brought out. Like it's talking about people being in captivity. It doesn't matter that it's Israel.
Well, right. So, but I could actually make an argument that, okay, to that person that says, are you Israel? Okay, because obviously it's foreshadowing and talking about Israel.
Yeah.
It's not a nation yet because it's Abraham, and Abraham is the father of Israel and become that. And okay, but what's the context of Matthew 24? Well, it's Israel budding. It's Israel becoming a nation. And so I'd actually make an argument that this is talking about a generation, Genesis 15. It's talking about the nation of Israel, just like Matthew 24 is.
Yeah.
And so it's like this. We believe that a lot of or that God's whole calendar and his whole economy has Israel in the center of it. They're his chosen people. Okay. They're obviously a part of everything with Matthew 24 because that's the key indicator that kicks off this whole thing of this generation is when the fig tree begins to put forth leaves. Okay. And then who is the central theme of the tribulation? Well, it's Israel. It's the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. And then who's even the central theme of the millennium? Well, it's actually Israel. And so, so I think you could actually make a great argument that Genesis 15, for one, it's the longest generation, so it gives you more flexibility. but it's the only generation that's clearly attached, or that's directly attached here with Israel. So it's talking about Israel and it's talking about a generation. And that's what Matthew 24 is doing. It's talking about both of those things. And so, yeah, this is actually the one I always, which again, the other ones have passed. But even when it was a 70, 80 year thing, I always was like, man, the Genesis 15 thing just seems to line up the most clearly, I think. But yeah, so 100 years. So yeah, like you said, he says they'll be in captivity 400 years, but in the fourth generation, they shall come again hither. So obviously, basic math, 400 divided by 4 is 100.
So that one hasn't happened yet.
So that would be 2048.
Yeah.
Again, tribulation, second advent. So subtract some time. And again, we're just talking about cutoff points. We're not saying the rapture is in 2041, but if we think that generation is 100 years, and the people that, 1948 plus 100, 2048, take time off for the tribulation. Then was that a sneeze? Wow. Well, then again, the whole project example, where in 2026, 2041-ish is only 15 years away. I mean, literally, this is the whole point of why we're talking about this, is all we're trying to say is we're not trying to name years. We're just trying to say, like, if you're like me and Big Kai, you've grown up your whole life hearing about Christ returning, but it really is stinking that close. Like 15 years, Big Kai. Again, cutoffs could be this year. Like literally, 15 years is such a small window of time in the layout of all of eternity and all of the 6,000 years of human history so far. 15 years. I don't know. It's just crazy. So it's I think about that all the time. I'm like, 15 years. I'm 31. I'll be 46. That's so that's pretty crazy. Yeah. And again, cutoff points. We're not saying 2041 is a year. Yeah. More like saying that you got a better chance of it being the next 6 or 7 years. Because every year that shaves off, the odds get tighter and tighter of that year being the year. So we could actually make an argument that there is a 1 in 15th chance that the rapture is this year.
That's right.
That's high.
Yeah.
That's really high.
Yeah.
Like someone says 1 in 15 is not very high. When you're talking about the biggest event in history of our life, that's high.
Yeah.
So that's
crazy.
If you adhere to what we believe we're seeing in Scripture. And so I'll say this, because before I maybe give one other thing, and that is, I'll save all that for the end. So, let me give one possible other thing that some people lay out, and I think there could be something to it, but I don't think it's very good. But that is that when I was laying out the word and the meaning of the definition of generation and all that, you do have obviously where a generation is connected with the individual people. Okay, so like we'll use so normally it's talking about time frames, like we just laid out, but sometimes it's talking about people, and obviously it's descendants and all that. So like in Exodus, I thought I put it in here. I didn't even put it in here, but in Exodus and throughout the Old Testament, you have the sins of your father thing. It curses up to the 4th generation. Well, that's obviously not. That doesn't go into a time frame thing. That goes into literal people, right?
Yeah.
Funneling down the lines, because we're saying that a generation in Matthew 24 is 100 years. Okay, well then you can't apply that same thing to the book of Exodus where it says that they'll be cursed to the 4th generation and say, okay, well then that means 400 years worth of kids in that lineage are going to be under that sin of their father.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's talking about literally the 4th person from that person,
Yeah.
And so there are some people like that will lay out the possibility that the generation could be a key person that was born or that was alive during the time frame of the leaves being put forth of the fig tree. And as long as that person, that the rapture or the tribulation of second advent will happen in that person's lifetime. which I think is a weak argument because I just don't think there's a lot there for it. But you do see generation obviously used, like I said, with talking about not necessarily a time, but a actual descendant,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. So